Today we're going to talk about the oops arbor, and I know we've discussed it and mentioned it in many of our videos, and the importance of it and why we use it and why we always have it on hand. But today I figured I'd show you actually what the oops arbor is, and really how to install it on your hole making saw holder, and why it's so important. So let's say you've taken off your old deadbolt, and all you've got is a 1.5 inch hole, and or whatever size it is. I'm just using that as an example because it's a very common one, and it's the one that I usually keep my oops arbor built with. So 1.5 inch hole, 2 inch, whatever it is. It could be triangular in some cases, but most locks, most commercial grade deadbolts use the 2 1/8 hole. So what we do in that case is we take our holder. I use this one, and the reason I use this one is it allows me to push out the piece of wood and the piece of door, and because it's such long teeth on it that come out, it will even go through the second hole making saw on the oops arbor. So I'll show you in a second. So first thing you do, retract this all the way. Get this on past the spring. Okay, so key is to get it so that it lines up and you're able to push this in, and you'll see why I'd say that later. So keep that lined up. Next, on your oops arbor, you'll notice there's actually 2 thread diameters, the larger one and the smaller one. So it really depends. It'll work for pretty much any hole making saw. In this case, we're going to be using the larger thread diameter. You screw it on. Don't put it too tight though. You'll see why after. And then you put the oops arbor with the flat part. You'll see there's a flat part to the shank in. Make sure you line it up with your screw. Just go. Tighten up the screw. There you go. And then you take this hole saw and you make sure that it is also lined up with the holes of this, if you have to have this particular kind of holder. And the reason is you always keep them into the secondary hole saw, and this way it won't bind on you. First of all, as you've finished making the hole, the appropriate hole, you can push it out, and you've actually pushed out your piece of wood. But also, by keeping it in there, what you're doing is actually preventing this from over tightening as you're turning and then binding, and then you're needing pliers and screwdrivers, and there's curse words, and because there's teeth here, there's usually blood involved, which then brings first aid kits. It's just never pretty. And so that's why I say just leave the 2 teeth here, whatever you want to call these, leave them here and leave them sticking into this one a bit. You'll never have any binding, and it'll be easy to remove and change it for a different size at a different time. So again, that's the oops arbor. That's why we love it. That's why it's so useful, and that's why we carry it in our toolkit. And anybody who wants to buy deadbolts but doesn't have this, it's also available for purchase on our site. And we also sell these Morse high-speed bimetal hole saws for whether it be steel or fiberglass door or wood core door, solid or hollow, it doesn't matter. These are really good saws. These are the ones we use on a daily basis. Thank you.